All right, and we are live. So let's just give it a moment for people to come in. Oh, let me see. Yes, we are. All right, guys. So for those that are coming in, this is the very first pilot episode of Titanium Table Talks live, and I'm so freaking excited. We have an amazing guest today, and yeah, let's look forward to an amazing session. Great, guys. If you've really tuned in here, I see three of you. Please comment below where you're from so we know um, who you are and that you're actually joining us, that we're not talking to thin air. Yeah, because I'm going to have to look at the comment section, and then we're going to let Miss Wandalyn know that her time here today is going to be very much treasured. And I'm very sure that the more interactive you guys are, the more value she's going to provide, and the more in tune she is with the whole 1 hour today. It's only 1 hour, including Q&A, so it's going to be a power-packed session. So yeah, if you guys have already tuned in, please let us know below where you're watching, where you're tuning in from. We really appreciate your presence. And without further ado, we're going to jump right in. So Miss Wandalyn, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. I can't tell you what an honor it is. Just reading through your LinkedIn profile and reading your bio on the amazing achievements that you have had in your career. Wow, I'm absolutely blown away. So yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. First, I would like to thank you, Nick, for this opportunity. If this is your first live stream, I am very much honored to be here. And I have so many stories to tell, and I hope that could really be useful, especially now. I know a lot of people are going through a lot, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
through a lot. So that is what really, my message is all about, sharing how I was able to go out of a lot of struggles and become the person I am today. So thank you for inviting me.
Amazing. So why not let's give our viewers a bit of background. I think that this is something I'm very interested to know as well. What do you do and how do you get started?
Okay, I have so many things I'm doing. I am a mother, I am a wife. That's the key important roles that I play. I'm also an
Mhm.
auditor, I'm a life and also a success coach. I am a career coach as well, and I am a speaker. So why
Mhm.
I'm doing a lot of things, and it wasn't always like that. For the past 24 years of my career, I am an auditor. And the last position I held with Emirates Airline, I was an audit manager there. And should I
Wow.
start sharing my story? Once I start talking, I get excited. So you have to stop me in between, okay?
No worries.
So I was at the peak of my corporate career. I was an audit manager then. I have a very successful career. I have a great job. I have great salary. I have a family. I have an amazing husband. So I was having everything, all I needed in 2014. But despite having everything that I have dreamed of since I was a childhood, I was thinking there was some deep unhappiness in my life that I cannot explain. And that was
Mm-hmm.
impacting a lot of areas in my life. I was always sick. I don't find the motivation to go to office, or I was lacking something which I cannot understand myself. So that's my story, and that led me to finding more purpose and joy and meaning. And I am in that position now of wanting to help others who might be on the previous journey I had of missing something which is unexplainable, and that's what I'm doing now.
Amazing. So how did you like when was the moment in your life that you knew, okay, something is missing and I've got to do something different with my in my life?
Okay, so this happened in 2014. I was telling you, I already said I was always sick that time. Then when you wake up in the morning, you have to always snooze your alarm. And when I ask myself, do I want to go to office? There's a lot of motivation that I am lacking. And I was like, is there more purpose in life? I was asking myself a lot of questions first. Why am I unhappy? Because logic tells me I had no reason to, because I have everything wrong. So
Mm-hmm.
why am I unhappy?
Mm-hmm.
And so that started to, I was very low. So my kids are starting to notice. That time they were only 2 and 4 years old. So my daughters keep on asking me, Mommy, are you okay? Is there something wrong? And even my husband also at some point, he asked me, is there something wrong with us? And that time, I had that moment of reality. I told my husband, it's not about you. It's about me. I need to find myself because I am unhappy for no reason. Sometimes I go out of shopping just to give myself that retail therapy. But after some time, that shopping also doesn't give you any more joy. So I told my husband, let me find myself because it's not about you, it's about me. So that's when I started to go from, personal development trainings. So I attended so much. It's, I think, more than 50, I guess. But that led me to
Wow.
finding, yes, I spent so much time, money, energy online, face to face. I traveled a lot to find really what's the purpose of my life? Why am I here? And that also started to, what I started doing as well is that I I attended those trainings and then I realized, oh, I am missing a big portion of my life. So I have great finances, great family, great friends, but that missing puzzle in my life, it's about the service to community. So my
Mm.
greatest lesson for that is yes, I've been a good mother, a good wife, a good employee, but my life has always been revolving on that only. And my
Mm.
greatest realization is that everybody, and I have that purpose, unique purpose to serve others. And when I realized that, my next question that what am I gonna do? How am I gonna serve others, right? So you cannot
Yes.
imagine from being an audit manager during weekends, I find every volunteering opportunity there is. So I went for balloon making, I went for event registration. I went for, and then that landed me also to training and coaching. So what I started doing, because I was learning a lot, I
Mm-hmm.
started to share whatever I learned with others. And what I realized, my students were more successful than I am. And I was like, oh my God, there should have been something I'm doing right. So because they were able to get their job promotions, they were able to win awards, they were able to even top notch in a worldwide board examination. And every goal that
Wow.
they wanted, like having a baby, getting out of trauma, it was really like a magical moment for me. And I realized this is something that I would love to do even in my old age because I have seen that, just by sharing what I know, what I've been through, these people were able to accelerate whatever they want. So that's why I committed myself, one time, it was in 2015, I remember, I declared, I said, Lord, free me from corporate and I will do anything you want me to do so I can serve others. Really, I made that bet with God. I said, I know I'm clear now after so many volunteering, trainings, etc. I said, okay, I know I'm clear. This is what I wanted to do. Free me from corporate and I'm going to do
Uh-huh.
whatever you want me to do. And
Okay, Wanda,
okay,
sorry, let me stop you there for a second because I
yes,
think
no
that you
problem.
came across a very important point. I
Uh-huh.
think that right now, and I think for the past 2 months since COVID and the whole pandemic took over the world, many people have resorted to going online to do more trainings, webinars, attend courses, and invest a lot of money in themselves, to either pivot. Pivot seems to be the key word nowadays, or to cope with the times. And I think you mentioned just now that there was a period of time that you were attending personal development courses, after seminars, after workshops, boot camps, and all the time and money. Was there ever a time in that moment that you felt stuck, that you felt lost, like, oh my God, I'm attending so many trainings, I'm attending so many courses, I'm learning so many things, but nothing seems to be happening for me in my life? Did that
Oh,
happen to you?
yes, Nick, it happened to me so many times. At some point, my husband was asking me, whatever you're doing, does it really make sense? And at some point,
Mhm.
because I was so into development trainings, I'm taking one after another. And then, it gets clouded. in terms of,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what am I going to do with the learning? And it just jumbled all together. But, as I look back now, everything that I've been through has taught me in some one way or another, because, we are continuously evolving. And what I learned the most is that no matter, first I want to honor those people who really took time to invest in themselves, because really, if you do that, your growth will be so massive. You cannot imagine what can happen in your life. But also, what worked for me, after having so many trainings, is about having that clarity. Even now, before
Mm.
attending any workshop, I always ask myself, what do I want to get out of here? Even
Wow,
for
that's
those who are listening, I want you to have that clarity as you listen to me now. What is the number one thing you want to take away from me, or what do you want to learn from me? And also, after every session I attend, I will look back first on what intention did I set by listening to this training. And then from there, I will go back and say, okay, this is what I wanted to learn. This is what I learned. And this is the action I'm going to do. So I always have one takeaway. So that
wow.
totally changed everything for me, because I was able to use the power of focus to say, this is what I wanted, this is what I learned, this is what I'm going to do. So for you, those who are really into learning, that's very good. But always have that clarity in mind of what you want, what you learned, what are you going to do about it? And are you going to take action? Because that is the game changer really for all the trainings. It wouldn't help because it's just learning, but it's all about taking action about what you learned. That will make that difference.
So if you were to sum it down to, let's say, 3 or 5 game-changing action steps that took you from jumping from workshop to workshop to having that clarity and knowing that you need clarity, I think it's very profound that it came to a point that you said to yourself, you actually need to set the intention and you want clarity before you attend the training. I think that is so important because personally as well, when I first started my personal development journey, I think it was the other way around, that I attended these trainings because I thought that by attending these trainings, I will get clarity. So if you were to sum it up to like maybe 3 to 5 action steps, game-changing action steps that could help people to either A, have clarity in these tough times, or B, find that their clarity, what is their version of clarity, what would it be?
I think there are, okay, I'll start it with three things. First is about clarity of who you are and what you value the most. Because that is the compass that I always follow. The compass of my values. Like, for example, for me, family, service, and love is at the core of everything I do. So whenever I attend training, okay, is this gonna help me become a better person in terms of serving others? Will this help me become a better mom or better wife? So I always have that clarity of the values. Okay, check, align. Is that speaker aligned to who I am? That's also very
Wow.
important, because sometimes, you listen to a lot of people and then you tend to somehow reject some of the information that you get from them. And it is because it's not aligned to who you are. So it's about the alignment of your values. Second is alignment in terms of your, I call it compass of joy. Because see,
Wow.
there is something that we love to do. And since we were young, I have young kids, and I can always see, I have 2 kids. I can see the difference of what my eldest want and what my youngest want. And it's always different. And it's the similar thing with you, and with everybody listening. You have some compass of joy that gives, it lights up your day, right? For me, it's always about learning, training, and coaching. So even if, I do volunteer training at 5 a.m. Dubai time, it was crazy, but it's something that I really am excited to wake up for. And if you find that compass of joy, that's called passion, right? You will really, sleep in peace and wake up in joy, knowing that there's something you're looking forward to. And
Mhm.
so once you have the clarity of value, the compass of joy, it's now about taking action. Because I've been in that situation where, like, I have so many things I wanted. I will write those. I have 101 things I want to do. I even share it with my husband. These are the things I want to do. But I get lost in that also. So it's about clarity of these 101 things that I want, of these 50 or 30 or 10 goals that you have. What is that one goal? They call it breakthrough goal, as Jack Canfield calls it. What is that one big goal that can help you achieve many of the things in your list? Because there will always be one big goal that can help you really, achieve many things. And for me, it started when I have this NLP training, Nick. Because what I realized, I've always been okay. Spiritually, I'm okay, but I think it was my mindset which was not in alignment with who I am. And see, I was an auditor, right, by profession, and that always is always finding wrong in something.
Yeah.
And one of my core gifts is about being optimistic, and I always want to see the good in every situation. And I realize, as an auditor, I always have to find what's wrong. But as a
Yep.
person, I'm always that person who wants to see what's working right. So it was creating a lot of misalignment in my life. It's when I had that clarity that, I was always this positive person since I was a childhood. This audit job is creating that misalignment. And when I started to channel out that energy that wants to go out from me through teaching and coaching, I was able to grow in a different way. When I started volunteering, I don't have much time actually, because weekends I'll be more busy volunteering, doing many things. But actually my health totally improved. I stopped being sick. I was unhappy. I was very happy for no reason. I stopped shopping also. So that is a good thing, right? So I was thinking, oh my God. So clarity of values, compass of joy, and so clarity of who you are and what are you gonna do to be in alignment of how are you designed. And that really is what worked for me.
Wow, I think that's really immensely powerful. I think it was just 2 or 3 days back where I was watching a live stream with Alex Mandosian, and he
Oh,
was he was talking about the mindset, the heart set, and the handset, the skill set. I think to sum up a simple part of what you said just now, having the mindset and having the intention of wanting to achieve it, but feeling stuck as if you're doing a lot of things, you're learning a lot of things, but somehow things are not happening, your goals are not manifesting. And I think what you brought up about what Jan Canfield said, your breakthrough goal, the one goal that needs to happen, that would be like pushing the first domino and having every other domino fall into place. I think that is the biggest struggle for most of the viewers and a lot of people that I know, especially like the pandemic they just said. Some people until now they're still looking for that breakthrough moment to push that first domino and have that and create that alignment between what the mind knows and what the heart needs to know before the hands can get going and do what they know. So
ah,
so I think it was one of my favorite all-time mentors, Keith Cunningham. He said something that totally changed my life. I think 5-6 years ago, and what he said was, knowing what to do and doing what you know are two completely different things.
I
And
totally agree, Nick. I
yeah,
totally
and
agree.
this struck me like, wow. But it took me, I think, a good 3 years before I finally had clarity on what the statement meant and had the alignment with like the mind and the heart to really see, wow, shit, this is what he means. So for someone that is going through such a moment, trying to find that breakthrough moment, trying to have the first breakthrough goal, I know that you coach and consult many people from around the world and use NLP and various techniques to help them break through from burnout to breakthrough and to gain clarity from the dark space. So how would you normally approach someone who is looking to take the first step?
Okay. First, I would like to talk about Alex Mendoza. He's also one of those mentors I had when I attended Guerrilla Business Intensive when I was in Malaysia. I learned a lot from him, and really, up to now, I'm following him. And I agree, it's the mind, the heart, because the action is the last. But it's
Yes.
really the alignment of the mind and the heart that will push your hands to take action. And for those your question is what do I give advice, right? The one thing I always ask people, because the number one problem of many people, they don't know what they want.
Mm.
And for the easiest way to know that is to know what is your deepest fear. So I always ask my clients, what is your deepest fear? So they were like, oh, so okay, like for example, one of my clients, she's a businesswoman. She's very busy with the pandemic and all. So I was asking her, and she was very confused. She was getting sick already. I asked her that question, what do you fear the most? And you know what she told me? She said, I fear of being sick. Then I
Mm.
reversed it. That means the number one thing that you want is to be healthy. And my question to her is that, are you doing something now to take care of your health? And she's like, oh no, I'm not, because I'm too busy with my business. I sleep late. I don't eat healthy foods. So that is the number one reason why everything is in chaos for her. Because everything that she's doing, that is not what her mind and body and heart is telling her to do. So for that, I told her, if your deepest fear is about being sick, then it's the reverse of the number one thing that you want now is about being healthy. So I told
Mm.
her, no matter how much busy you are, spend, I know, an ample time and asking yourself, what do you need to do to feel healthy? She said, oh, I will sleep more. I will sleep more. I will eat healthy. I will try to at least do 5-minute exercise. And then I told her, okay, do these three things at least every day. Just 30 minutes. I think you can do all of it. And she started doing that. And she just told me, she said, I feel more refreshed. I feel more relaxed. And I was telling her, but because now your heart and your mind is aligned to what you really want to happen, and you're working towards that. Because the other areas that you want to happen is just an accessory, but that's the number one priority for you. So ask yourself that question: if you are into too many things, what do you fear the most? Because the
Mm.
reverse of that is what you really want to happen, and surround the activities that you're doing with at least that thing that you wanted, and I'm sure that will definitely be a game changer.
Well, I think that's so powerful, and very interesting that you brought up this client of yours, and in the topic of health and wellness, because that's why I do what I do, and how I got into it as well is very similar because I had many friends who bought into the hustle life. That they think it's rather fashionable to be working 16, 20 hours a day, sleeping through 3 hours, and eating meals on the go. And I know, while I understand that we all have the period of time where we have to work extra hard, we have to make sacrifices, and there are opportunity costs that happen along the way. I just tend to believe that there is a better, healthier way to go around it. Like you said, small actionable steps on a daily basis to nourish your body, to make sure that you're healthy and well. And let me know what you think about this. My point of view on this is that any success, any level of success in life or in any aspect of life, first begins with a healthy mind and body. That this is your vehicle for success. Like, if you're not physically and mentally well and healthy, then what nothing really matters after that. And that's why I believe, like, especially during challenging times like these, where people are working extra hard, and they're extra desperate to do whatever it takes to get business in, to put food on the table, to take care of their loved ones, to provide for their children, that they neglect their health. Health takes a back seat. So in your 20 years of experience, going from auditor to entrepreneur and everything in between, how important was taking care of your health in that process? Maybe you could share your experience, and our listeners could have a different perspective on how they can approach the entrepreneurship life and the business life, maybe in a healthier and a better way.
Okay. Thank you, Nick, for sharing. I have been in that constant hustle because, I've been always, I think only in the past 1 to 2 years of my life where I was able to reach that relaxed stage. And I, because, initially I was transitioning all the time. From audit manager, I became a housewife because my husband got relocated. From housewife, I started my business. And then, there's a lot of transition that's happening on my life. And I was sleeping only 3 to 6 hours a day. And also, as you rank to the career ladder, right? And with the many responsibilities of a mother, I feel that if I sleep less, I'm going to do more. Especially when I was starting my business, I was only sleeping 4 hours because I was learning, I was starting to do the online courses, I was coaching, but it really burned me out also. And only in the last 2 years of my life, I realized the power of, slowing down. That hustle is not the key. And here is how I found it. So what happened is that, okay, I realized there's a power of sleep. What I learned is that when you sleep, you cannot eat for 21 days and you're going to be okay. But if you don't sleep for 2 weeks, it can be the end of your life. So that was a wake up call for me that, oh my God, sleep is very important than, the hustle of working too much. And when I started to give myself more rest time, I actually was able to achieve more. Maybe you've heard of this concept, but let me share my story. So what I started doing is that first, I started to invest in terms of I've invested a lot of mindset programs, but I started to invest on health programs. Just recently, I did this 90-day Wild Fit program by Eric. Heard of that? So because for the longest time, I got married, I started to gain weight, and I was like, I'm 40 this year, and I set a very important goal. I want to be the strongest, slimmest and sexiest version of me when I'm in 40. And I know that's a very big goal. Last year, because I know I'm gonna be 40, I started to go to the gym. I ate more. I ate less meat. I ate more vegetable, but nothing was happening. My daughter was even telling me, "Mommy, I don't see any change when you go to the gym." So I was really becoming frustrated already. So I was like, there has to be something wrong, right? And then I found that program of the Wild Fit program, and I started to understand more about nutrition, about health, about sleep, about water and emotional hunger and everything in between. And I was able to lose 14 pounds in 90 days. And this is the I will say the best weight I had in the past 10 years, really. And I had more because of that program that I took, because of investing again in time, money, in terms of that health program and making a commitment. It's very difficult. It's like, I cannot eat what the sweets that my mom's, is cooking. And those are my favorites, but I have to hold on to my vegetable juice. It was very tough, but that taught me a lot in terms of when I was able to invest more in my health, I was able to sleep a lot. I can sleep now from, 8 to 10 hours peacefully. I don't get interrupted anymore. I have more energy to do what I want to do. I can work 12 hours straight because I had so much energy. And that is because I was able to invest in that health, in that sleep that I wanted. But when I was before in that situation where I only sleep 4 to 6 hours, my focus is very bad. I don't feel like I achieved something. But when I put my health on priority, it really gave me so much results than I had before. And if you're in the, and also there's there's also one powerful thing I want to share. There is, you ask yourself a question before you sleep, because really our mind is so powerful. It doesn't actually sleep. It only solves problem for you. I even learned this in 2014. You ask yourself one question: what kind of, problem you need help or solution. So let's say, for example, that time I was having a problem in terms of the big audit assignments I'm doing. So I will ask, when I pray, I will ask a question, God or my angels or what, can you tell me how can I finish this big work that I have to do? How can you finish it this week? And I will always keep on praying, putting that prayer. When I wake up in the morning, when I arrive in the office, I was surprised. I have a big to-do list, but I will be doing something else. And then when I review, why did I do this? And then I realized, oh my God, this helped me also finish what I need to finish. Because my mind, when I was sleeping, was able to channel through, and I was able to give out and surrender that I cannot do this, I need help. And when you ask for help, it's always there, it always comes. And even landing to you, I was always thinking of how can I know for this pandemic, I've been asking myself, how can I really help others during this time? And that
Mm-hmm.
landed me to speaking to one person after another. And I think this is also one of the manifestations of what I've always been asking of how can I help? How can I really make contribution, especially now? So
Yeah.
that's my take on that. Give yourself rest, a lot of rest, because you will wake up with more energy. And it's not only me actually. I know I've read about Einstein's story and even the great scientists of the past. They
Mm-hmm.
take a lot of nap because sleeping is really
Yes.
powerful. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
I don't remember if it was Einstein or Edison or whoever scientist, one of those scientists, when they're trapped in the solution, they will take a nap and they will have a ball. I think they're holding a ball in their hand. And then, when it's released, they're awake. And then they started to write those inspirations that they had during the dream. And that
Einstein.
helped them actually. It's Einstein. I don't remember. I read a lot. So I so that is the magical moment for him, napping. So if you feel like your body will always tell you, if you're always sick, that's one indication that there's something
Mm-hmm.
wrong. If
Yep.
you're anxious and stressed for no reason, that's another
Indicator.
indicator for you. So give yourself that break, and also do a lot of funny things, like your compass of joy. So I will play with my kids also. Do coloring. Journaling is one thing that also always helps me a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my take on that. When you rest more, believe me, you can really do more. This is my experience. It took me a
Yeah,
hard time to
I
realize
think
that
that's
also.
so true. I think like the analogy of if you're given 5 hours to chop down a tree, you spend the first 4 hours sharpening your axe instead of the first 4 hours hacking away the tree. So yeah, but I really really appreciate what you shared because it just reinforces that why I do what I do and how and the system that I operate on with my clients, that is to tell them that if you're stuck at four to five figures a month now in your income and you're trying to get to 5 or 6 figures, the answer to that escalation may not be a business breakthrough. It may be a health breakthrough. That by by being effective and efficient as a human being and to be able to perform at 100%, that could be the difference between 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 or 6 to 7 figures a month. That why is it everyone has 24 hours in a day, but some people can get so much done while others seem to always complain they don't have enough time. And I spent years and years studying so many successful entrepreneurs. You name it, from like Henry Ford or Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or Einstein or whoever it may be, Bill Gates. And one thing that they all have in common is they learn to optimize their health and their body. They find time to always meditate. They find time to sleep at the same time, to wake up at the same time. That the first thing they do is to give that 30 minutes, 1 hour of time, first thing in the morning, dedicated to themselves, whether it's a workout, whether it's a swim, whether it's some form of physical exercise. And then after that comes a healthy breakfast, a nourishment. And the reason why all these people embrace these things, I believe, is not by accident. Success leaves clues. And what you just shared really just reinforced it, that sometimes um, um, the road to achieving what we want is not straight, nor is it logical, nor does it have to make sense to you. It just has to be there. It's your choice whether you choose to take that path or you don't,
I
right?
totally agree. Mm. And you know
Absolutely.
what? One formula I learned also with this 90-day program. They said it takes about 21 days habit to change a habit, right? And 90 days to change a lifestyle. And I
Yep.
think what worked for me during the past days that this pandemic and with this health program I have, it's Robin Sharma calls it 1991. So for the next if you want to really make a massive shift in terms of your career, your salary, your income, your health, for the first 90 days of the hour, and
Mhm.
for the first 90 minutes of the day. You do one thing that will help you achieve that big goal that you want. So for me, it was the health goal that I wanted to. Everybody was binging. I was choosing. I decided to hold on and become healthier. So for the first 90 days of that, for the first 90 minutes of those 90 days, I will read through the program, what I have to do for the day. And I really do that. And that really gave me that result, which I was also unexpecting. So that's the thing.
Wow, that is unbelievable. So, at which point in your life did you discover that, you know what, I have found like my message, and this is what I want to share, and this is what I want to do, and you decided to go into coaching and speaking, because I think that people like us that are coaches in our own respect, or trainers or mentors, it doesn't happen by accident. That, like, for me, it was a profound event, or series of events in a certain period of my life that led me to ask myself, like, why me? Why did these things have to happen to me before I was able to turn it around and see the silver lining and say, you know what? Of course it happened to me. Who else would it have happened to? Who else would have been able to have the strength to go through this and come out the other side with a message to pay it forward and help more people and change more lives? So what moment was that for you in your life?
That moment was my burnout situation. In 2014, when I had that burnout, I cannot even ask God why me. I was so shy to even feel that emotion because I feel so guilty. I have everything I've asked for, I prayed for. So who am I to ask again? But really, your pain from my learning, my pain had a purpose. And I was thinking, and when I was reading through a lot of, statistics and stories, they said more than 60 or 70 or 80% of individuals are unhappy with their job. And I was like, why no one told me? I was feeling so guilty of being unhappy for no reason. And then when I realized, because nobody was, telling you that story. No, everybody just tells you, just be thankful for what you have. Period.
Yeah.
So, and I was like suppressing every emotion I have. It's like, okay, I'm feeling sad, unhappy. And I was suppressing myself. You have no reason to shut up. But that also led to a lot of, I think I'm in the verge of depression that time because, just being unhappy it's like being dead. So I realized that, okay, I think I am now in that position and I am brave enough to share my story. When I left that corporate job in 2016, a lot of people were telling me, you're leaving your audit manager position for what? To become a housewife, take care of your kids. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want because, I wasn't happy. And I think number one was I had so much guilt of not having enough time for my kids. And I want to be that. I realized also that 0 to 7 is the critical age of any child. And I was like, I am not missing that for my kids. I want to build a strong foundation because they are my legacy. And I don't, it's okay if I experience burnout and stress. I think there's a reason. That at that point, I also don't know about the exact reason. I just know I'm tired, I'm burned out, I want to take care of my kids. And that is from one action to another. It's not an overnight that I'll say, oh, I want to help now people move up from burnout to bliss. It's not an overnight scenario. It's really from one journey after another that, okay, as I look back now of all the things I've been through for the past 6 years, what is my biggest struggle? What's the biggest pain I've been through? And what really changed it all for me? And for that portion, it was my burnout. So that burnout has led me to finding more joy, more meaning in life. And that really changed every relationship I have with my children, with my husband also. So I was like, I want to help those people who might be in a similar situation that I am. When you have every success in your career, you feel like you have no reason to ask for anymore and just be happy about it. But really, that unhappiness, those emotions that you have a reason that will land you to something big. And that's why I was thinking, okay, the biggest problem I had is burnout, and I was able to break through that and have a blissful life as I describe it now. And that situation is what I want others to help to move out, because if it's possible for me, then it's possible for every person. And it depends on where they are and where they want to be. Because that
I
will be
think, I think that's a very important point. Moving from burnout to bliss. I love that. Yeah, but moving from burnout to bliss, for people that are experiencing burnout now, I think that there are a few categories. The first category is they acknowledge and they recognize that they're in burnout, but they're lost. They don't know what to do. They know where they want to go, but they don't know how to start. Or the second category of people that they don't even know that they're burnt out. And they just think I'm going through a rough patch. It's a phase. So for when you do meet clients that are going through situations like that, what are some some questions that they could ask themselves, or what are some simple things that they could do to help them identify exactly where they are now, and also that they have some form of clarity that yes, or acknowledgement that yes, I am in burnout, and what can I do to take the first step or the first baby step to move towards that breakthrough?
That's a good question. Nick, this is what I'm doing. I always ask my client, what is your number one? Again, we always have to zoom in and focus, right? I always know, what is your number one challenge right now? That is always, I ask the client, what is your number one challenge right now? And what is your vision of the future? Because this is the easiest way to map where am I now and where do I want to be. Because I can help them, okay, if this is what you are now and this is what your challenges are and this is what you want to be, I help them bridge the gap, because it's really about removing those blocks. I've met a lot of people who said, I'm ready for promotion, but I'm not getting it. Or I want to start a business, but I don't know what business. So I always ask, so what's your number one challenge? It's like, oh, I have no idea. So I was telling him, okay, how do you see yourself in the future? I said, I want to be a very successful business person. I said, oh, that's good. And then it's about, taking that steps one at a time. So I will ask from childhood also. So it's about the past, the present, and the future. So it's linking, it's a timeline, right? So I go back to what do you want to be when you were smaller? Because that gives you a lot of clue. A lot of people I've met, let's say, I want to be a fireman when I was younger. It's like, why? I want to help people. And then go back also to what are you doing now? And he said, oh, I'm just auditing. So is that helping? He said, no, I'm not helping at all. So you have to find a job or do something that is aligned to what you wanted since you were a kid. I've also met one interesting lady. She said, I want to be a nanny when I was younger. I said, nanny?
Wow.
Maid? Yeah. So I was asking her, you want to be a maid? And she's like, yeah, I want to be a maid because I want to help others. She's like, okay. So I asked her, so what are you doing now? She said, I am now a director. She's in Singapore, actually. She said she's now the director of, they take care of special, special child or those with, those individuals. And she was able to rise from that smallest rank to being a director. You know why? Because it was aligned to what she wanted since she was small. I was telling her, I know why you're very successful. I said, because since you were young, you were clear of wanting to help others. Maybe that's being a nanny as your definition, but as you're doing it now as a nanny, somehow, that is totally aligned. So I was telling her, so do you see yourself staying here for the next few years? I said, definitely, I'm going to retire here. So it's about what you wanted. Go back also to the past, to what you're doing now, because if something you're not doing is not aligned to what you've always wanted to do, like what happened to me, then that is where the gap needs to be bridged. So for me, when I was younger, I wanted to be a nun, imagine. I wanted to be a nun and a nurse. So I was like, I want to serve. I just don't know. I just want to serve. I just feel that the nurse is clean. So then I was thinking, when I was an auditor, how is that related to being a nun or a nurse? Nothing. So when I started to move into, oh, I wanted to be a great speaker and a great trainer someday. So when I realized that's the future that I wanted, I started really taking a lot of steps to become that. So I started taking training certifications. Started learning how can I speak to inspire, because it doesn't come really natural, but everything can be learned also. So if you're in that situation now, I really don't know what I want. Then float back to the future. What is your vision of yourself? And also float back to the past. Since you were young, your innocent child in you, what do you always wanted and why? Because that
Mm.
gives you a lot of clue. Success will always leave a clue for you. So it's about bridging the past, the present, and your future, and that is the great way to do that.
That is amazing. So from where you are now in your amazing, colorful career, what is your plan on where you want to be in the next 10 years?
Oh, next I was just journaling actually. So I was telling my husband, I was very excited the other day. I woke up. I said, I want to be the number one speaker and career coach and life coach, one of the best female speakers in the world. And so I started typing, this is what I want in the next 10 years. So he was like, and I was telling him, I cannot sleep because I got too excited with that dream. And he was laughing at me. It's like, okay, you're too excited. It's like, I think it's possible. So yeah, I believe too. So I also tell my kids, I always share with them my crazy dreams. I was telling them I want to be that person. And I know, it's about taking one step after another. And I'm not pressuring myself because I know, if I am who I am and I'm willing to get there, and I will do really everything to make that positive impact is what I've always wanted. Help others become happy. If you've been in that situation of unhappiness, I was like, it's my mission to help others become happy. And I will always work towards that. I am very clear about that. It's about just the how, maybe through training, through coaching, through speaking. It will lead you to a lot of things, but with clarity of your mission and what you want to do, I think there's limitless possibilities.
Wow. I absolutely love your energy. I love your passion. And
Thank
yeah, I
you.
really believe it's going to happen for you. Really, really. So,
Thank you.
so if I think you pointed out something just now that caught my attention. That was that besides just sharing it with your husband and your loved ones, you also share it with your children,
Oh,
and,
yes.
right? And if you could, let's say, only give 3 to 5 pieces of advice to your children for them to hold on for the rest of their lives, what would those 3 to 5 pieces of advice be?
I always tell my kids, 3 to 5 things. Number one, I always tell them, my only dream, I always tell my kids, my mommy's dream for you is to be happy. And because I want them to always have that, compass of joy inside of them. So whenever they're doing something, I'm asking them, is this making you happy? Or when I'm asking them something, how can mommy help you today? How can you be happier? So I always help them channel back, because with also, with kids, with so many things happening around, they also get lost and distracted. So I always have to ask, is this making you happy? Because maybe there's something you have to do. And then second, I also ask them about asking. There's so much in the power of asking. So I always tell them, if you need something, you ask help. Because this is how you're gonna get through a lot of things. So if you're lost in the grocery, you're looking for something you cannot find, just ask for it, because that's the quickest way to get into something. And I myself was able to move from one career to another because I asked a lot of questions. Curiosity is very important also. And
Mhm.
third thing, I always tell them, have the faith in God, because I was telling them there's intelligence quotient, that's fine. There's emotional quotient, that's also okay. But there's one most powerful that can help them in anything and everything, and they call it spiritual quotient. And for me, that's the I think if I will give credit to all the success I have, it's because of my spiritual quotient. I was not very intelligent before. I was just average, but because I always have that SQ, that belief that God will make things possible for me, I was able to increase my intelligence. I was able to handle every difficult emotion I had, because I always have that higher belief. So I always tell them to, okay, have faith and believe that there's always something bigger than yourself that is always looking after you. I also tell them a lot of gratitude. This is always I tell my kids to do. I always journal, and this is something thankfully I've learned already. So they also journal, they write their thoughts, they write what they're thankful for. So, and even in small things, I always tell them give thanks, because the doorway to gratitude is really the source of everything in abundance. And so I talk about, there's one last thing. What's the one last thing? I told them to always look at the brighter side. So, I always ask them, even in the most difficult time, let's say my two daughters are fighting, right? So the other one will come to me crying, said, Mommy, blah, blah, blah. Then I will ask a simple question: what's the brighter side here? So first she'll stop crying. Just like, what's the brighter side? And then she'll answer, oh, Mommy, I have a sister that I can fight with, because some of my classmates, they're, an only child. So I think I'm lucky enough to have somebody, right? So when I was able to channel them to always look at the brighter side, they were able to do that as well. I remember there was one time we were traveling from Malaysia to Dubai, and we had to be separated from seats. So my children were then 5 and 7, and we were not seated together because there was no seat available. And it was very difficult, because imagine there are two small kids, but then I only asked the question, tell Mommy, please, what's the brighter side of us in this airplane going to Dubai? Then they're like, oh, Mommy, I will see my friends. I can eat my favorite food again. They started to do one after another. And then they said, I think I'm okay to be alone, Mommy. So they were able to sit alone. Imagine, on the airplane for the next 9 hours of travel.
Wow.
And, coming back, they were even telling me, Mommy, can I just be alone on my seat? I don't need to be with you.
Wow,
This is
that's amazing.
yeah, so it's about looking at, and in every situation, I want to tell everybody, this is what I also learned. In every situation, there's called duality. There's the bad and the good. And there will always be something good no matter how bad the situation is. And if you focus on that and ask for what's the brighter side, what's the opportunity, then your life will also totally shift, because that's also what happened to me and even to my children. So it's about asking that question.
I think that is so true. I think it was just it was this morning that I was watching an old video of Anthony Robbins, and what is this is so true. What you focus on expands. Where focus goes, energy flows. And if you choose to focus on something, you will find it. Whatever you focus on, you will find it. And I think it's just so amazing that your kids at 5 and 7 to be able to understand and embrace this concept of always looking on for the positive. I just really marvel at that, because I think it would dramatically change the course of their lives. Like, I think for myself, if I understood this concept like 5-10 years earlier than I did, I think that my life would have took a very different course as well. But then again, it's not the easiest thing to practice. But I think with consistency and with the clarity and intention of doing it every day, it can really work wonders. So with that, if let's say you were to sum up the 3 biggest lessons that you have learned on your journey as an entrepreneur, as a mother, and as someone who has a relentless pursuit to happiness, what would it be?
I think the top three lessons I want to share. Number one, your pain has a purpose. Every struggle is a story that can really change lives of others. And if you just find that meaning of your pain without judgment, it can lead you to something. And that test that you have can someday be a testimonial. So when I was in that situation of burnout, I never understood how it can help me later in life. So, but now I'm in that situation, where I can help others move from burnout to breakthrough and bliss. And I think second is that there's a unique purpose in life. This is what I learned. Every person has a unique purpose in life. It's designed in terms of your talents, your gifts, your experience, and there's really no duplication at all. And it's about you stepping into that unique purpose that you have in life. And when you find it, you're gonna really sleep in peace and wake up in joy. And third thing is that I want to tell others, this is one of the things I've learned from Michael Beckwith, I guess. He said, God wants to give birth something through you. We talk about manifestation, we talk about law of attraction, but there's one more important concept. It's called visioning. It means it's like when you allow when you allow yourself to become an instrument. So I always ask myself this question now: what does God want me to do? What does God want to give birth through me, through my experiences, through my struggles? And it has always been an answer of use my pain to help others. So God wants to give birth something through you by helping others through your own experience. And you find that and start helping others. You don't have to help a million people. You help one person at a time. And you can also see how magical it's to you and how it's going to change your life. So those, I think, are the three things for me.
That is amazing. Wow. I've learned so much just listening to you, and
Thank
it's
you.
really, really amazing. All right. So, last question to wrap up this power-packed, inspirational interview. What are some final words you have for our viewers here today?
I know there's something in high school that I've been using for a long time. They call it affirmation, right? And I learned affirmation only in 2014. But I realized that if there's one reason without learning anything, that's one thing that I was using since high school. I always have this, even before the interview, I wrote it on my notebook. There's one affirmation that I used, and I hope you find your affirmation that can empower you. So I always have this affirmation: I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And because when I find things to be difficult, to be challenging, and I just say, I can do all. See how powerful through Christ. It's not even me. It's a bigger picture than I have. So you find that one mantra that can switch you from doing the impossible to possible, because that can help. Your words have so much power also to change your life and to change the life of others. So find that theme of your life that can empower you. Find that mantra, as they call it. So, and that's the beginning, I think.
Wow, that is amazing. All right. So, how can people reach out to you to learn more from you? Where can they find you?
I hope I have Facebook, but I am not now in Facebook. I love LinkedIn because see, I started to become active in LinkedIn only the past month, I guess. But I started to microdose Facebook at all, but I still post. But I hope you connect with me on LinkedIn. I assure you, I'm only posting inspirational, something inspirational, because that's my mission. And just connect with me on LinkedIn and send me a message from there. I do also have online programs. I do coaching and training, and just send me a message on LinkedIn, and I would be happy to be of help in any way I can to you or to your organization. It would be an honor for me.
Great. So thank you so much for your valuable time, Wanda. I learned so much from you today. I think our viewers must have had some key takeaways as well, because I can think of so many aha moments going off in my head right now. And yeah, I really hope that you guys watching here on our first live Titanium Table Talks had something to take away. If you guys have enjoyed it, please share it out so some of your friends can enjoy it as well. Do comment below if you have a question, if you're watching a replay, and I will forward the questions to Wandalyn and help her and get her to reply the questions for you. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for your time. Until the next episode of Titanium Table Talks, this is Nick Young signing out, and I hope you guys have an awesome weekend ahead. So take care, Wanda.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you to all who's watching. If you do have questions, do we have Q&A now? Or, well, if there's a question, I would be
Um,
happy to answer.
we'll just post it up, and then
No
if there are any
problem.
questions, we'll deal with it later on.
Thank you so much, Nick, for this opportunity. And thanks, everybody, for watching.
Take care.
Take care. Stay safe. God bless you.